they want to do something special for a guy by the name of Danny Mack, who was, to me, a great player here at Walkersville. And I always think you got to know the history of the program, right? So you can appreciate, where you don't really know where you're going to go unless you know where you've been. So you have to be able to appreciate the past. So I'm going to talk a little bit about these guys. The first guy is Gary Rubeling. Okay, and he was one of the first. He played on the very first Walkersville football team. Actually, he threw the first touchdown pass, and it was responsible for the first touchdown at Walkersville. Had a tremendous career at Walkersville, and then at Towson, where he was the Associated Press and Kodak All-American. Holds multiple records at Towson. He's recently going to be inducted to the Alvin G. Quinn Hall of Fame. Also, it's not only, but also had a tryout for the Redskins, and briefly played professional football, for the Washington Redskins. So we'll bring Gary Rubeling on up here. And the other guy that's going to speak is Jeff Meyers. And Jeff was one of the first football players to play 4 years of varsity football. Was on the first football team. He was all MVL, all county, all area. He knows everything. I mean, he's a Walkersville football historian. I mean, he has all the memorabilia stuff from the past. I mean, he's done a tremendous job of keeping the old tradition of Walkersville football alive. Like Quentin, he also represented the school as a scholar athlete. These guys talk about a team that they played on. We talk about being a small school, but they played on a team. We had 19 players, right? 19 players, and those guys are very proud of that and how tough they were, and how successful they were, and that's a bond that they'll always have. So, Jeff, you want to come on up? Sure. About Jeff's brother Tim, who was another great player at Walkersville High School. He was in the same class as Danny. Those guys were seniors when I was actually a freshman at Walkersville, like I said earlier. But those are guys that, when you're a freshman, like these freshmen look up to those guys. When I was a freshman, I looked up to them. So it means a lot for me, for those guys, for him to be here, and really to honor a great Walkersville football player. I think that's. Oh, there's one more guy. One more guy.
This is the guy.
Quentin Azell. Quentin was a running back and a linebacker. He had an unbelievable senior year. During his year, he actually broke 7 school rushing records. Okay, and these include yards in the game, yards in the season, yards in a career, points in the season, points in a career, touchdowns in the season, and touchdowns in a career. I'm a big believer that numbers don't lie. So right here might be the best running back to ever carry football at Walkersville High School. After the season, he was named first team all conference. He also represented our school at the Crab Bowl yesterday. He scored a touchdown and actually was their go-to guy down the stretch and iced the win for the Baltimore team. Not only is he a great player, but he's a great student. He's going to represent Walkersville High School again as our scholar athlete at the Baltimore Football Foundation dinner in March. And he also got a call, same as I got from Cameron, but he actually is going to be named, and it'll be in the paper. They got to go for the picture on Tuesday. It should be in the paper next Sunday. But he's going to be the Offensive Player of the Year in Frederick County. So I mean, that's
outstanding.
I just want to talk a little bit about these guys that are just standing up there. Everybody, all these guys got one of these books. In the book, we were able this year to break 11 school records. Okay, and I kind of want to run through that. All right, the 2010 Walkersville football team. We had the most points in the season with 378. Total yards in the season, 5,483. We had Quentin, who had the most rushing yards in a career with 3,041. We had most rushing yards in the season, 1,789. Most rushing yards in a game, 330. Most points in a career, 216. Most points in a season for one player, 144. Most rushing touchdowns in a career, 35. Most rushing touchdowns in a season, 22. Most extra points in a season, 30. And most extra points in a game with 8. Now, some of those awards or records you might think are individual records, but I'll tell you, the guys that got them will be the first ones to tell you that they're not. Okay, the records that we broke this year are a reflection of the team, and how they work together and play together. Football.